Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda, and please welcome to our Operation Freedom platform, WeThePeopleProcessing.com. You know, are you tired of being threatened to be canceled just because you have a company focused on liberty and freedom? Well, worry no more, folks. WeThePeopleProcessing.com is your go-to merchant services, freedom-based company to provide business service payment solutions. We the People Processing provides their clients a cancel culture-free platform which is domestically based. They provide competitive rates, no contracts with next-day funding, a fully vetted and like-minded financial infrastructure, and full support for integrations, implementation, and e-commerce efforts. Bottom line, WeThePeopleProcessing.com focuses on defending your company's free market growth, values, and future. Check them out at www.WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Once you're on the site, enter in password Operation Freedom or call 855-499-2024. That's WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Then, when on the website, enter Operation Freedom as your password or call 855-499-2024.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state
She's
categorically?
asking a question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question.
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing to this platform, and thank you for subscribing to DaveJanda.com, where we have the extra shows, extra content, extra guests, extra analysis, and archives to all of our shows. We are at DaveJanda.com 24/7. We post a new YouTube here every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Do not rely on notifications from this platform, YouTube, to inform you that we have new content. We have new content every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on YouTube, at 9 a.m. on Rumble, and on 9 a.m. at DaveJanda.com. Free, public. Plus, we have our subscription content that goes into much greater depth. We hope you'll become part of our Freedom family. Today's presentation is entitled Pouring Fuel on the Fire. This is what the deep state, the thugocracy, the criminal international banking syndicate, the New World Order, the shadow government, the technocrat, whatever you want to call them, the globalist syndicate loves war. Why? Because they don't go, and their relatives don't go, and their children don't go to fight those wars. They just sit around drinking mimosas and champagne and you name it, right? Eating their caviar. While the Smiths and the Joneses and the Jandas and whatever your last name is, we go to war. We lose it. We become refugees. We have financial hardship. Because out of their wars that the globalists create and that their puppets are paid to push, read that as the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Romneys, the Ryans, 99.9% of them in Washington, D.C., out of war. They get more power, more control, and more financial resources, windfalls. Yeah. So they love wars. We, on the freedom side, despise them. They love them. Which is why this Russia-Ukraine war is being fueled by the globalists. I have pointed out to you before. The World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab and George Soros, and they are middle-level puppets. They're not the top of the pyramid. When you start getting to the top of the pyramid, you get into the banking families. You get into the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Lazards, the Pinkuses, the Warburgs, and a family nobody talks about that I believe is the top of that pyramid, the Pesor family. Ooh, every time I talk about that. Ooh, the blowback. Well, tough. Cockroaches hate it when they're exposed to light. Well, there you go. I just named the cockroaches, and will continue to name them. Many people have said, this whole Russia-Ukraine thing wouldn't have ended up in a war if Trump was president. Now, on my platform, on the subscription side, I had former Assistant Secretary of State in the Trump administration, Bob Destro, on. And I asked Bob specifically, I said, when you left on January 20th, the State Department of 2021, was there anything in the wind about a Russia-Ukraine conflict, war? He goes, no. And then this came out. Former Ukraine ambassador, this is Yovanovitch, who despises Trump. Former Ukraine ambassador slips up, admits Putin would not have invaded under Trump. This from Zero Hedge. Former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Maria Yovanovitch, accidentally admitted that Vladimir Putin would never have invaded Ukraine if President Trump had been reelected. But what we got when this guy was installed in January of 2021 was, I understand, a diminished mental capacity individual. Just the way they want it. Just the way they wanted it. That's controlled 100% by the syndicate. Right? And what we are experiencing, what this Russia-Ukraine was in the cards by the globalists. Move Trump out, get Biden in, and we will implement the plan to institute our, quote, great reset. And we need a spark to do it because that whole pathogen thing didn't do what we wanted, the globalists. So we need a war. Yeah. Hence, billions of dollars, as you know, that we're even aware, and who knows how many billion we're unaware, have been funneled into that cauldron. Have you seen Zelensky and Putin get in a room, or anyone that's a globalist demand they get in a room and work this out, even before February 24th when the invasion occurred? No. Because the globalists don't want peace. We do. They don't. Because they get more power, more control, and more money out of these wars. And in the process, the added benefit to them, as they see it, because they're evil, is a lot of us useless eaters become refugees. What is it, 5 million right now out of Ukraine? Completely preventable. Useless eaters like us, well, we die. We lose our jobs. Supply chain problems happen. This is all created. This is all part of their great reset. Meanwhile, you got people that work for George Soros, like Blinken, who's now the Secretary of State, if that's what you want to call him. Blinken declares Russian operation has failed during Zelensky meeting. During Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's unannounced, both globalist hacks, trip to Kiev recently, where they met with Zelensky, who is owned by the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. He was one of the featured speakers last year at the World Economic Forum. Owned. And hashed out details of new impending U.S. weapon shipments. Oh yeah, we're not going to export peace initiatives. We're going to export weapons. Billions of dollars worth. Remember when Trump was trying to get the wall built on the southern border? Oh, we can't. Not just Dems, Republicans. Oh, we can't afford it. We're sending billions over to this cauldron, which, as I mentioned in previous videos, the State Department, the Defense Department cannot even tail where the money and where the weapons went. It's their quote, a black hole, end quote. So Blinken declares Russian operation. I say, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, why do we continue? Every week, there's a new allocation of hundreds of millions of dollars. The latest one was, what, 330 million? Going to Ukraine for more weapons. Oh, no. This is about pouring fuel in the fire. Right? You want to squash the fire of war? Negotiate. Diplomacy. Nuh-uh. Not happening. Meanwhile, German lawmakers vote overwhelmingly to send heavy and complex weapons to Ukraine. More globalist. UK backs right of Ukraine to attack Russian territory. Kremlin warns London of proportional response. More fuel on the fire. How about this one? U.S. intel assisted in sinking Russian flagship, the Moskva. Officials claim. It's from Zero Hedge. Also from Zero Hedge. U.S. intelligence has helped kill multiple Russian generals in Ukraine. More fuel. MyShield products are EPA and FDA approved and are proven ready to help you, your family, and your community neutralize COVID, bacteria, viruses, spores, and fungi. The water-based alcohol-free hand sanitizer foam and disinfectants are safe for people, animals, and the environment. Application of the MyShield products has been confirmed by independent studies to provide persistent protection for 28 days on surfaces and for 4 hours on the skin with just one application with a very quick dry time. Check out MyShield products at OperationFreedomHealth.com. That's OperationFreedomHealth.com. And then from the Kremlin, quote, pouring fuel on the flames, end quote, Kremlin condemns Blinken visit to Ukraine and U.S. arms shipment. Quote, what the Americans are doing is pouring oil on the flames, end quote, Russia's ambassador to the United States, Anatoly Adanov, recently stated. Quote, I see only an attempt to raise the stakes, to aggravate the situation, to see more losses, end quote. Enter Putin. Putin warns of, quote, quick response, end quote, if West intervenes in Ukraine. After repeatedly condemning foreign weapon shipments while seeking to destroy them, Russian President Vladimir Putin has issued his own fresh warning, telling countries which are now attempting to intervene in various ways that Moscow will, quote, quickly respond in kind with devastating strikes, end quote. And then the West, that is fine putting its people in peril, right? Poland confirms Russia to, people said, Putin said, look, if you're going to keep this, we're going to stop delivering gas, natural gas, oil, resources. Oh, he's faking. It's just, no. Now they shut up shipments. Poland confirms Russia to halt gas delivery. Germany steps up. Germany supports gradual EU ban on Russian oil. Well, wait a minute. What's that going to do to the populations in the West? But they don't care about the populations. Look at these, quote, leaders, and I use that term loosely. They're really puppets of the globalist syndicate. They are not there to look out for the welfare of their populace, whether it's in Western Europe or whether it's here in the United States or Canada. They are devoted. They are owned by the syndicate, and they will do what's right for the syndicate, and that is not what's right for freedom-loving people of the world. And this is why they're pouring fuel on that fire, because the larger that bonfire gets, or that dumpster fire gets, is a better way to put it, the better for the globalists. Because in the end, they see it, because their playbook has told them this has always worked in the past. Out of these dumpster fires, they get more power, more control, and more money. So what you won't see is Putin and Zelensky getting in a room and hashing this out. And I believe this could be hashed out within a day, at least for a ceasefire. But they don't want that. Nobody wants that. You see, I believe on the side, Putin and Xi cut a deal. And their deal is, why should Schwab and Soros, which is why Schwab and Soros are talking trash about Putin and Xi. You see, I think, and I believe this to be the facts, Soros, Schwab, their puppet masters, the banking syndicate and the families, thought that they could get Putin and Xi to do the dirty work, right, in Ukraine. Be that spark to start off their great reset. Meanwhile, Putin and Xi said, wait a minute, we're putting all this resources up and we're putting all our militaries up there. Why shouldn't we run this reset and let the ruble and the yuan that are backed by natural resources be the new reserve currency of the world versus what Schwab and Soros want, this SDR, this special drawing rights package of fiat currencies that have nothing backing them. Maybe what will back them are these carbon credits. Why should we let them run this if we're putting it all up? Let's us run it. And I believe that's what's happening. You see, this dumpster fire in Ukraine is about who's going to run the financial system afterwards. Is it going to be Putin and Xi, or is it going to be the World Economic Forum, the Soroses, the Schwabs, and their puppet masters, those families I mentioned at the beginning of this video? Either way, what's going to be in the trash, ultimately, is the current reserve currency of the world, the United States dollar. Which is why the best insurance policy any of us could have financially is to hold what is always held over time value. As my dad used to say, if you can't hold it and you can't stand on it, you don't own it. What was he talking about? He was talking about gold and silver. You see, and this is why, for many years, the syndicate has been accumulating gold and silver because they know where this is going. And if it harms 99% of the population, they're fine with that because they're evil. Fact. What you need to do is protect yourself. Protect yourself. Because there are no government officials, and anyone that's viewing this video around the world, there are no government officials in your government that are looking out for you. They look out for those who own them. That is it. That is the unvarnished truth. And that is what the bought-off lamestream fake media tentacle of the deep state and the deep state itself do not want you to know. And that is why they are pouring ongoing fuel on the fire, that dumpster fire in Russia-Ukraine issues. I thank you for your time today. I hope you'll join us at davejanda.com. We are there 24/7. Now look, the radio show Operation Freedom airs live every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern out of the People's Republic of Ann Arbor. You can listen to the show live free by going to davejanda.com, hitting the listen live button from Sundays from 2 to 5. If you want the rebroadcast, it's part of our subscription series service, as is the other shows we do, the WTF show, the Insider Insight show, the Department of Advanced Research show that we do at least the WTF and Insider Insight show we do every week. We hope you become part of our Freedom family. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.